compared with something like the NAD 3020, which was the disruptor of its day in a way, certainly many units were sold probably at the expense of slightly more expensive amplifiers because it was just so good at the price. And I think the WiiM is going to do potentially the same thing. We are back, Not an Audiophile, the podcast. This is episode 35, season 2. And today, there really is no rant. We're basically going to review a product instead. That's coming up shortly during the discussion with Alex Stuart, our youngest interviewee ever on Not an Audiophile, who's in the HiFi business, believe it or not. So we chat with Alex to see what it's like to be not 58 and in the HiFi business. And after I chat with Alex, I'll give you a more detailed rundown on my experience with the WiiM Amp Ultra. Are you craving incredible sound? I think we all are. Well, those listening to this podcast. For over 47 years, Len Wallace Audio has been guiding hi-fi enthusiasts on their audio journey. They're not some corporate machine, just a tight-knit crew of audiophiles and entertainment lovers obsessed with great sound. From precision turntables to immersive home theatre systems, they handpick gear that delivers. Stop by the store in Lane Cove, Sydney, Australia, or visit lenwallaceaudio.com. Len Wallace Audio, where your passion finds its sound. And we're back with Alex Stewart, the as we jokingly say, the youngest hi-fi store owner in the world. And feel free to write in, by the way, make comments on the YouTube video if you know a store owner who is younger than 34 years of age. WiiM, interesting brand. It's well known. No one who's listening to this podcast will not have heard of it. For me, my first brush with it wasn't that successful as far as the sound quality, but I've now heard this new product, which we've decided is called the WiiM
Amp Ultra.
WiiM Amp Ultra. It's a great little box. You were just telling me in the break that they have a number of other products which have been around for a while. Now, apparently there's new things coming out as well we're not supposed to talk about, so don't.
Okay.
Unless you believe that it's not a secret.
There's little, look, it may not be a secret, but there's little sort of plug-in speakers that'll be used for, multi-room audio essentially. And also they can be used as rear surround speakers in a home theatre system.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So that's coming.
That's coming, and I think a soundbar is coming as well.
It seems logical in the sense that they're kind of so where do they fit in? I mean, they're not just. I mean, initially they would appear to be a Sonos alternative.
Absolutely, it's a cheaper Sonos alternative,
and it's cheaper than Sonos.
Absolutely,
yeah. And it's. I mean, they've come out of seemingly nowhere. They've been around, 3 or 4 years, if that?
I think the initial brand does. Like WiiM has been around for 3 or 4 years, but the company prior, I think, believe they used to make electronics for other companies.
Yeah, okay. So that's where its heritage lies. They've clearly grasped streaming and Class D amplification as sort of that's their thing. Small boxes that run cool. They sound pretty good. The thing that I'm most impressed with is that we got it out of the box, plugged it in, and within, 12 minutes had it running on our network, playing Tidal, downloaded the app. I don't know. It was,
It's seamless.
It was. It's scary in a way. It puts many more expensive brands on notice as far as ease of use.
Software, ease of use.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And sound quality's, for the money, is very respectable.
Yeah, we put it on a pair of they're not that difficult to drive, but a low impedance pair of speakers that are fairly insensitive. So 84 dB, 84.5 dB, 4 ohm load, sounded good. Then we, I'm going to say good. Let's clarify that because I think this is, we don't want to get down to tin tacks too much in the particular test at our workshop here, but you have the product in your store and have had different ones. How do you overall find the sound? And how does it?
It sounds
you've got
like
other things that are similar. You've got Sonos. You've got at the other end of the market. You've got Name and you've got Orenda and other things. I mean,
Are we talking about the amp or just the?
well, we're talking about generally the quality of their streaming, I suppose, for a second. Just as where does the brand sit? I mean, it's not like it's blowing everything out of the water, is it? It's not going to change the landscape to the point where Name have to go out of business. Or will
No,
go
I
out
don't
of
think
business.
so. Look, from a software point of view, it's excellent. I'd say it's first class, really.
So
for
software's
software.
good.
Software's good. Sound quality for the money is fine.
Is
it's very
excellent,
respectable.
yeah.
Yeah. Not so much in their low end products. They're a little bit average, but definitely in their higher end. WiiM Ultra.
They're Ultra products, yes.
Yeah, they sound very respectable for the money.
Okay, and the brief listen I've had, absolutely. It's got a very appealing sound. It drove difficult. I keep saying difficult. They're not that. They're more difficult than an 8-ohm 90 dB sensitive loudspeaker, obviously, to drive. It did a very nice job. No embarrassment there. It didn't start getting hot or anything. Waves of heat were not pouring out of the top of it. No smoke. The screen's attractive. Touch screen for functionality when setting it up and so forth.
I think the size is attractive too, just having something compact.
Tucks away. And of course, you
Yeah.
don't really have to see it if you don't want to, do you?
No, absolutely not. It's all app controlled.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, to some degree, the question is, so what stops them from taking over the world? I would suggest it can't possibly be the last word in quality inside the box to some degree, can it? I mean, it's got to be a disposable product. But when I say that, I'm not trying to be unkind. I guess you get 10 years out of it, right?
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I mean, so far.
But no one's going to repair them, right?
No one's going to be repairing them. No, it's definitely a throwaway product at the end of the day. But as far as all the models we've sold, we haven't had one back. So
Is that right?
not one warranty claim.
Wow.
Not
and you've
one.
been selling them, fairly big time for, a year or two? Or?
Since they first came out. We
Yeah,
were
okay.
one of the first stores to get it.
Yep.
I think I saw a review on the cheap audio man
Yeah.
in America, and then I sort of, as soon as I saw that, I think I had a chat to one of the sales distributors, and we got it straight away because I thought it was going to be excellent in the country.
Okay.
And as soon as it landed, we started selling it, and sold really well. But yeah, look, not one warranty return in all the products
So
we've
it's sort
sold.
of it's the Hyundai of streaming audio
Absolutely.
amplifiers.
Great value, good quality. You can't knock it as far as a product's concerned for the money. I think that's the big thing.
No, I'd like to, but I can't. So no, I don't. I mean, I don't want to. It's just that it's kind of it has that potential to suck all of the air out of the hi-fi industry. All of the discussion about, what streamer are you going to get and what amp are you going to put it with? I've just got this little thing here that I just get out of a box. It sounds amazing for $8.99.
Maybe that's the future. We don't know.
Okay.
It's an affordable future.
It's the shortest review in the history of audio reviewing, but really there's not much more to say. It just does exactly what you'd expect it to do. And I think if you're building a system in a second room or something, I mean, it does have analog ins, right?
Analog input, no phono preamp, but it does have.
But you've got an analog in, you could stick a phono preamp in.
Absolutely, yeah.
Or you could obviously, get one of those turntables with the phono preamp built in them. Or you could use an old radiogram and take a line out. Or not. It has all the answers. I think as a second room system, I mean...
Or for someone just starting out in hi-fi, it's a great entry into the world of hi-fi for someone who doesn't have a big budget.
So
that wants streaming, maybe HDMI for their TV, a flexible system.
What's the functionality of the HDMI? So it's a sort of... It
acts like a soundbar, essentially, as soon as you use the HDMI arc.
So you turn your TV on and you kind of control it with it turns on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it flicks to that input. Yeah, produces sound. What happens when someone comes in the store, one of these 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds, 16, young 20-somethings that want to buy a record player, are you selling them a simple integrated amplifier and a pair of speakers?
For the most part, yeah. There's two different types of customers.
Not WiiM customers.
Not typically WiiM customers, no. Most people that want to buy turntables usually just mostly analog system. Maybe Bluetooth would be nice.
Okay.
Just so they have the ability to play their phone through it, but it's mostly just to play the turntable.
Okay, so are they... I mentioned the mature age lady I was having the argument/discussion with yesterday, the day before. Are they railing? Are there younger people railing against streaming, or is it? Do they not really understand or care about the politics of that? Like, would they're buying an integrated amp and staying analog because they just want to play records?
I think they enjoy the process of going out and buying records. Attending record fairs and just collecting records. I think that's a big part of it.
So the collecting's part of it. Yeah,
there's a big social community around collecting records, record fairs. I think that's part of it. And just look something half decent to play it on. There's plenty of crap on the market, Marley products. What are those other ones inside the suitcase? Whatever. Crosleys, yeah.
Yes, we have had a crack at them on previous episodes. We try to make it pretty clear that Marley and Crosley are something you shouldn't actually own. Certainly shouldn't put a record on them. Considering the cost of records, I mean, a decent mobile fidelity pressing with some kind of special edition status would cost the same price as a Marley turntable, I would guess. Yeah. So speaking of record players and the fact that you're in a HiFi store on a daily basis almost, except for those days you don't work, what are you selling? What's a popular turntable these days?
We sell a lot of Riga 1 to 3.
Okay.
1, 2, 3 are our big sellers. A lot of Riga 3s, I think bang for buck, it's a great turntable. Sound quality's excellent, build quality's great.
Yep.
And just how it feels to use, there's a premium feel to it, unlike some other turntables. So, a lot of them.
Coupled with what kind of amplifier? What's the...
Really varied, Riga, Marantz, maybe some Denon.
Okay.
What else? Jeez. A lot of Rotel. We sell a lot of Rotel.
So you really sell... there's an interesting conversation there. It's not that interesting, but... back in my day, there was a lot of different brands. Now you really are Denon, Marantz. You just got them all. Denon, Marantz, Rotel, Riga. The only one you missed is probably Yamaha, and that there's really not much else. Although I believe Onkyo has kind of come back to the market, but
Yeah, there's a little bit of a resurgence, I think, with some of the retro Onkyo gear and some of the cheaper stuff, but. The company was going bankrupt at one point, so we've...
to edit that out later. I don't really know what's going on with Onkyo. And the point is that there's not like there's 22 different brands of amplifiers. There is a small handful.
I think there's more, but,
So what's a favourite system? So you've got... clearly you're heading it up with a planar 3. What cartridge are you using on that, do you think?
Typically a Riga cartridge.
Okay. Comes bolted onto it, does it?
Yeah, it comes bolted to it. Usually a Riga ND5.
ND5, okay.
ND5, that's one of the new
that's
cartridges.
A new cartridge, yeah. All right.
Riga ND5. In terms of amps, it really just depends on what the customer wants, what features they want.
Yeah, you mentioned they might want Bluetooth. I guess they might want digital inputs for TV
well, they want
sound
to stream or,
Yep.
Whether it's just a completely analog system, and also depends on what sort of speakers they've got or want to buy. It's really varied. So no system is the same. There's no generic system in the store. It's all tailored.
You've got nothing bulk stacked out the front. It's $9.99 or $19.99 or whatever.
Nothing like that. Yeah. A basic system.
What am I saying? It's got a Riga 3 and it's going to be $29.99.
Absolutely. Look, a basic system for us is probably like a Riga Plano 1 or a Rotel amp and maybe a pair of Polk speakers or potentially even Richter.
Okay.
Yeah, we like Richter. So
adding up to about 2.5 or something?
Anywhere from $1,300 all the way up to about $2,000 to get you a decent sort of entry level system.
So you'd really wonder why anyone would buy the likes of the aforementioned, appliance store brands when you can you buy a proper hi-fi system for that little money.
Yeah, look, absolutely. I mean, not everyone has $1,500, $2,000 to spend on a system, but
They should.
I think there's a lot of value in spending a little bit more to get something that's of higher quality that will last, 10, 15, maybe 20 years if it's looked after, rather than buying something for $600, $700, $800. You might get 6 or 7 years out of it, turn it over. The quality's okay, but nothing amazing. So yeah, it just depends on the customer's budget and the application.
And at the other end of the range, to wrap up the whole what the hell do you sell at the HiFi shop, which is the name of your store, located on the beautiful Sunshine Coast in Queensland, conveniently only an hour or so up the road from the beautiful town of Brisbane. What sells in the high end? You sell a bit of high end there, or?
Yeah, we sell a little bit of high end. Look, we do a bit of Sonus Faber. What else do we do?
You've forgotten, and yet you're so young, and yet your memory is so poor.
Look, we sell a little bit of a render. What have we sold lately?
What do you sell in an amp?
What do we sell?
What do you like in an amp? What gets you excited? Amplifier-wise.
What gets me excited?
And then what gets you excited speaker-wise? I mean, clearly other than Delacord, the finest local product that you're ever likely to see.
Look, I quite like the mobile fidelity speakers, so the Source Point 8, Source Point 10s. They get me a little bit excited. And they're not crazy amounts of money, $4, $5, $6 grand.
Which one in the range works for you?
For me, it'd probably be the Source Point 8.
Okay.
And it fits neatly in our room. It's not too big for our, smallish listening room, so it works well in there. So that with a decent amp of some sort, whether it be exposure or, a Marantz, or whatever, really. Yeah, they get me a little bit excited.
Obviously, they all sound slightly different. The customer has their preferences, and you give them a demo of a couple of different
absolutely
options,
yeah.
and
once again, it comes down to whatever works for the customer and what sort of features they want.
Yes.
They want an all analog system, that's fine. They want a system with a bit of digital, no worries. Every client's different, you know. Look, most of the systems we sell sound really good,
well, I should hope
they all
so.
they sound.
When you say most sound pretty good, you mean all of them sound
amazing?
amazing?
They all sound pretty good, absolutely. But yeah, look,
but they all sound slightly. They're different flavours of
absolutely.
greatness.
They all sound different. Some are better than others, but they all sound a little bit different.
What back to MoFi speakers for a second, which is interesting because it's like a brand of speakers that have come out of nowhere, but obviously we know who designed them. He's not an idiot, right? So in fact, he's he is the guy, really. There's a floor stander, I think, in the 10-inch. Have you had a taste of this? Has that been released yet? Or
there's the 888. I think there's the new.
So there's a 888 and a 1010, or
I think there's a 1010 coming.
Have you got the 888?
Don't have the 888.
Okay.
No.
All right.
They I think Synergy had them at the show in Melbourne last year.
Oh, did they?
Yeah,
I did not hear them for some reason. Okay,
yeah,
in a separate room.
In one of their two rooms.
Okay. Speaking of Melbourne show, quick ad. It's on in a few weeks, although it'll be on almost at about the time this is uploaded, so to speak. 29th, 30th and 31st at the Pullman Hotel, as it has resided for some years, the Melbourne HiFi AV show, StereoNet show, whatever its name is. Big year, bigger than normal, not bigger than Ben-Hur probably, but probably less chariots, less chariot racing, but should be a good show. March Audio, fantastic amplifiers. Alan March has been on the show a couple of times. He's a great guy, very, very smart cookie, and he manufactures a range of amplifiers and loudspeakers using Purify components in most cases, which we all know are extremely high quality. So check out March Audio, great sound, brilliant build quality and design, and in fact I believe there is a new preamp, which is a ground-up design of their own, coming out from literally a clean sheet of paper. marchaudio.com. We're here with Alex Stuart, the youngest HiFi store owner in the world. In a previous introduction, Alex, I mentioned that you look surprisingly young for a HiFi store owner, because everyone in the HiFi business is, I don't know, 50 or 60 or something, or 48. But you're not.
No, 34 this year.
Oh, okay. So I always say the youngest person in the hi-fi business in Australia, but you're probably not. But I think as someone in retail and selling good quality hi-fi, you are younger than most. How did that all start? Did you, I don't know. I know you said to me once your father was a bit of a hi-fi enthusiast.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, my father is, but it was really my mother's friend that was into it.
Okay.
He had big electrostatic towers, big bass towers, and I used to go there as a kid to his house, and listen. Wasn't really interested in the start, but look, as I got older, definitely had an appreciation for it.
When you say didn't get interested at the start, is that because
I was about 5 years old?
Oh, okay. Yeah, you are an early starter. Okay, so at some point when I guess 10, 12, 14, you became interested in music, you did notice that it sounded pretty good through that system. Was that the gist of it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think it's, the reason I asked the question is whether it was the sound quality that sort of literally caught your ear.
Yeah, definitely the sound quality and just the experience, I guess, like having it as almost like a live concert, sort of, in your living room. That was a new experience for me.
Yeah, it's I can't really remember what happened. I had the opposite experience. My parents' stereo was so bad that it caught my ear from the opposite point of view, which is, why does this sound so bad? There must be something better. I think that was, but it was a couple of years earlier than when you, So do you remember what the gear was, the electrostatics, or were they?
I think it was all Australian-made gear. So.
Oh, okay. So that would have been. What were those? All those panels, they weren't. You don't know what they were. No,
it wasn't quad or anything like that. But it was some Australian-made panel.
Yeah, okay.
I think the amps were like a moss amp of some. I could find out, but obviously not now.
Moss, made from moss from rainforests, or moss fets. Or was that the brand?
That was the brand. Yeah,
okay.
I think it was moss amps or something like that.
Right. Yeah, I have no idea what that is, but I guess there's this was in Melbourne.
Tassie.
In Tassie? Yeah, okay. Right, yeah. So it could have been a Tasmanian product.
Could have been, yeah.
Yeah, which, is sort of the South Island of Australia, and we really have no idea what goes on in there, so down there, so they could have all sorts of things.
Absolutely.
Hey, so fast forward a decade or three, and you decided that you wanted to be in the business. Because, my understanding is you had a hell of a stereo at home as an adult.
Yeah, absolutely. I had the Ambience 1800s, so big ribbon speakers with big sort of bass units. A Consonance valve amp from Greg Osborne.
Greg Osborne, famous Australian loudspeaker maker who listens to this podcast regularly. Hello, Greg. Probably doesn't. But if he does, hello, Greg.
Yeah,
hope you're enjoying your retirement.
Absolutely.
Well, that's not a bad thing, right? So that was quite a big sounding and a very nice sounding system, I'd imagine.
Yeah, very sweet, very big. It was good. Pretty happy with it.
And at some point, though, you thought, I'd love to have a new stereo at home every week.
Absolutely, yeah.
Was that part of the motivation for getting into the business, that you thought, you could try a lot of stuff?
It was...
Or did you just want to make a shitload of money, which would really be the wrong reason to get into it?
No, it was never about the money. It was more just the opportunity was there to buy a business, obviously. Mm-hmm. And I thought, this is opportunity of a lifetime, essentially, to do something that I enjoy for work.
Yeah, well, I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's not really... it is work. You have to turn up fairly early. Well, you don't, but some of us do, and go home late. Oh, that's right, you go home early, but very modern hours. But anyhow, the point is that, that's right, you don't work Mondays either, but you really don't work a day in your life, really. I mean, if you're mucking around with HiFi all day, and even though you still got to kind of, lean on people to buy something a little bit. It's you wouldn't describe it as work?
No, I haven't worked a day since I've owned the store, essentially.
And you have a bit of a background in electronics, so you do repairs as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Got an advanced diploma in electronics and engineering. So, yeah, we do a few repairs. It's not the main part of the business anymore, but we do a few.
Yep. And importing as well, I believe.
Importing exposure electronics.
There's probably an ad in there somewhere. In fact, actually, I think we do have you roped in as an advertiser, come to think of it, although I have no idea what you're mentioning in your ad because that's in the future. So, yeah, you're bathing in it, basically, yeah.
Yeah, look, I'm just enjoying myself, essentially. Yeah, absolutely.
Why do you think, there's two questions I've got. Now that we've established that you're in the HiFi business and you're not that old, so do you think a younger mindset has an advantage? And then the other flip side of that is, why are there not more younger people in the audio business? Or is there in fact younger people in it? I mean, maybe there is. I just don't see them.
No, I don't see too many either.
You don't see, okay.
There's certainly a drive there to see, how you can definitely improve on things with modern marketing, and just a passion and a drive. I mean, I think there's a lot of people that have been in the industry for a very long time, and maybe they've lost their drive a little bit.
Yeah, that would be part of it. You've been in the business, I believe, for about 5 or 6 years. You won't be worn out for another couple of years. Of course, there's that's youthful enthusiasm, but I think I feel that there's perhaps you closer to an age group that's rediscovered records. And I guess, do you see people in their 20s and 30s coming into your store to buy? I mean, is that part of your customer base?
It's a large part of it, yeah. 20s, 30s, even younger, 14, 15, 16 with their parents.
Is that right?
Yeah,
wow.
Buying record players, absolutely. Yeah,
wow.
absolutely.
Okay.
But it's a variety of age groups,
cool.
so it's been able to connect with the young people, obviously.
So if there's 14 and 15-year-olds coming in to buy record players, to buy turntables, are they? What's happened there? Are they following on from their parents, or have they discovered a box of records in the garage or something?
I think retro is cool, but also just having the physical touch of, being able to put something and play it and see it being played, rather than obviously just selecting something on your phone and it being a very not artificial experience, but it's just a whole lot of, doesn't have a lot of meaning to it, essentially.
I think there's an interesting thing there with the, I don't know if the expression is the generation gap, but I mean, when I grew up in audio, records were, as far as I was concerned, largely a pain in the ass. Crackles, pops, you couldn't,
I think a lot of people like that, though.
Whereas now,
they're asking for crackles and pops.
They are done with digital, the same way I was done with records. They're done with digital, and they want that analogness. And, of course, it must be amazing growing up in a world of digital electronics, and then the fact that there's this mechanical object, this piece of black plastic, you drag a needle, literally, for a better, there is no better expression really, through the groove, and it makes this quite wonderful sound. That must be more amazing for a younger audience than digital electronics, which for my era was in fact that's what happened through the 80s, 70s, 80s and 90s. Stuff just got better and better and more amazing to the point where now, of course, we take it super for granted. But so that's what you're seeing.
Yeah, so the inconvenience of it and
is the attraction
and the imperfections of it as well.
Yeah,
but also just physically handling stuff rather than just pressing buttons on your phone, essentially.
Yeah, you could not ridicule it, but you could not even belittle it. But you could go, "Oh, is that really what it is?" But you're telling me that's what it is. You're seeing it, and are they telling you that? I mean, are they?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
And what about records yourself? I'll come back to the question of why there are no younger people in the industry, but none. I mean, because there is younger people, but not so much in retail as store owners or as wholesalers. But your interest in records? Are you, or is it something you just keep at work?
Personally, yeah. Look, at home, I'm just streaming and listening to music mostly on YouTube. But I mean, my record collection is at work, so if I have 5 or 10 minutes spare, then I will put something on.
Yeah,
but,
okay.
I'm typically pretty busy, so just stream.
Look, I had a conversation with someone yesterday who's probably older than me, and they hate streaming, and they don't hate it for the reasons that you think. I repaired something for them, maybe a CD player, I think, some analog source. It's not an analog source, is it really? But it's a hardware.
It kind of is.
It's a hardware
days.
source. Yeah, you could almost. Well,
it's
what comes out of the back of it.
It's not your phone.
No, that's right.
It's a physical media.
You've got physical media source. And she couldn't stop railing against streaming services and how they're ruining musicians' lives. And we've discussed this in a previous episode with David Carazza, and I'm not going to be able to quote the episode, but it's I think it was in the 5 Myths episode about 7 or 8 episodes ago. And we did unlock some of the truth of that, and I did mention some of those to her, but she wouldn't have it. As far as she's concerned, and she's got a decent point, by the way, but she's concerned that musicians are not being paid properly under the streaming regime to the point where she won't partake in that pleasure. And what I said to her in the end, and I agreed with her, was that actually, and this is not much to do with your age or anything else that we were talking about, but except that, music's never been cheaper. I mean, that's the joy.
Well, it's $15 a month, isn't it?
$15 a month for all the music in the world.
Absolutely,
And so we could agree that when we were younger, that a record was probably $10 or $15, which was kind of all the money in the world as far as spending money for a week. There's no way you were probably even buying a record every week. So your ability to listen to a broad range of music was super limited. Now, I find streaming magical because, you can just listen just to anything and discover anything, and not just discover new artists, but discover more catalogue of your favourites. So, yeah, for me, I've said it before on this show, I love records, but I just love the range of music.
Absolutely. There's definitely the ability to find more music as well with Spotify having, the feature where you start playing one track and then it sort of finds a similar track to it.
Yes, yeah.
So for discovering new music, it's great, but it's kind of soulless at the same time.
It is. It doesn't have a sense of occasion. You get a record out, you lift the lid on the turntable, you clean the disc, you clean the stylus, you turn the volume down, you select the phono input. There's a sense of occasion, and then you will sit there for 22 minutes and listen to a side, and then probably have a toilet break and pour another whiskey before you listen to side 2. Back to the show. So, what have you learnt in? Oh, we were going to cover why are there no younger folk in the industry, do you think? Is it just because they don't want to ruin their hobby?
I guess the barrier to entry seems difficult. I know, look, this day and age, I think I've heard that the pay is not great for most basic retail jobs. I've heard it's not amazing, and everything's pretty expensive these days.
Yeah, there is that. So do you think it is the fact that they are searching for more of a career proposition that ultimately will bring in the big bucks, which clearly the hi-fi industry doesn't?
Possibly. Look, I don't know the reason why there's not heaps of
people in
the industry. But it works. Yeah, absolutely, definitely works for me.
Mm. Yeah, okay. Well, it worked for me as well. It gave me a lifestyle. I mean, it wasn't. There's not $10 million in the bank, but I don't feel as if I kind of really ever worked. Actually, I do feel as if I work pretty hard, actually. But
you work hard, but
you're not bored, right?
No, you don't ever resent your work.
No,
you're not, and you're not. You always. I don't always look forward to going to work, but I don't ever hate going to work. It's always you get in there and you usually have a pretty good time for the most part.
You certainly have a decent stereo at work.
There's a couple. I'd hope so. Anyway.
Hey. Thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for giving some insight into what it's like to run a hi-fi store as someone who's not decrepit and using a stick to get around, and it's good to see that there's a future So anyone who's listening who's not 50 or 60 but does want to be in the hi-fi business, it can be done. Thank you, Alex. I'll see you at the show.
Thank you. Thanks, Andrew.
Pleasure.
Cheers.
Talk to you. Bye.
Bye.
Hey Now HiFi specialises in creating personalised audio experiences. With brands to suit all needs and over 3 decades of experience, Jeff from Hey Now HiFi can help find your sound for your life. Have a look at the website now. Not right now, you're listening to the podcast. Later, but soon. So, the WiiM Amp Ultra. This is a more serious review now. I received another test unit, took it home, plugged it in as largely as anyone would who had bought one, received one in the mail, and what can I say? Works perfectly. It comes out of the box immaculately. Everything is there. You plug it in, connect some speakers. If you have access to Wi-Fi, you can use your phone, in this case my iPhone. Yes, an iPhone user, sorry. And I'd say within 60 to 120 seconds had the Wi-Fi going without having to scrounge around and find the password. And then press the title button under Browse in the WiiM app, which I had previously downloaded to do the other test that we did with Alex at the store here, and entered my title account details, and music played. And it sounded great. Now, I had unplugged a Name Unity Star to plug this in, the WiiM Amp Ultra, and the obvious difference straight away was a slight, not even that slight, a fairly obvious lack of sort of fine detail. But I do wonder how much of that was just the fact that the WiiM is a warmer, balanced piece of equipment than the Name. So the first thing you think is, I've come back a notch, I'm lacking some resolution. Some minutes later, you find yourself enjoying music, and I wouldn't say enjoying it because of the warmth, although, of course that is part of it, isn't it? It is, you can enjoy all kind, and different people enjoy all kind of aspects of performance. And look, I enjoy an extended, full, rich bass as much as I enjoy and want as much resolution that I can have that is presented in a very enjoyable to listen kind of way. If it's gets to the point where it's not enjoyable, it's sort of edgy and nasty, well then we don't want that. But the Name draws a nice compromise. The WiiM is a warmer, balanced device, more frankly like an affordable tube amplifier is either tailored or just happens to sound that way. Not unenjoyable at all, and I found myself listening to it with some pleasure. Now, I did strike a little bit of an issue. It started chopping in and out on Tidal, so I changed the settings back to high resolution rather than maximum resolution, and which took a little bit of time to find in the software. It's in the accounts section, I think, from memory, and perhaps not where you would first expect it. And that didn't get rid of the problem. I then plugged in Ethernet, and that did not get rid of the problem. Now, what was concerning at the time was that we've never experienced this problem on the Name, but I would be the first to say that the internet in our building is not world-leading. So it's entirely possible that there is a smaller buffer in the WiiM, perhaps, something like that. Although, interestingly, if there is, it takes longer to fill because it would distinctly take longer to get a track playing on the WiiM. So this is just my experience. It kind of wrecked it for title playing. And I will do a postscript on this because I will tinker with this more and do a speed test of the internet, which I foolishly didn't do. But what I did do was plug the Ethernet cable back into the Name, reconnect the Name, and the problem, guess what, didn't go away. For the first time, the Name was also a bit choppy, but nowhere near as bad as the WiiM. So my guesstimate of the situation is that, yes, the internet was slow that night. was it the final of MasterChef or something? And everybody, I don't know, they'd be watching it on free-to-air, wouldn't they? But the point is, it still did it on the name, and it had not done it before, but didn't do it as bad, Lee. But there is, I would say, if they've saved $1 here or there, it's somewhere perhaps in the amount of memory or how quickly it can load. It seems a bit far-fetched, and my understanding of that sort of thing is frankly a bit limited, so I may be making a fool of myself mentioning it, but that's the way it seemed to me. But I have to say, otherwise, it looks great. It's beautifully finished off. And, of course, at the price, it's a bargain. And compared with something like the NAD 3020, which was the disruptor of its day in a way, certainly many units were sold probably at the expense of slightly more expensive amplifiers because it was just so good at the price. And I think the WiiM is going to do potentially the same thing. It's the NAD 3020 in its day, 40-odd years ago, nearly 45 years ago, was a quarter of the price. But in reality, houses are now 40 times the price or something like that. So the WiiM is a genuine bargain, and so it certainly opens up your budget to buy a better pair of loudspeakers, which is probably where money is very well spent. So I listened to it on the Delacord 70Ss, which we have mentioned in a previous episode, is our own work. It's our budget entry-level product that is made out of great materials designed purely for sound. And I have to say the combination of those and the WiiM at something under $4,000 is a bit of a bargain. It was very enjoyable. I liked it. So a solid 8.75 out of 10 for me, with just a bit of a quandary about, some of that streaming capability if your internet is a little bit dodgy. But I mean, really. Maybe it's worth a 9. It's a great unit. And everything works. So easy to set up. No glitches, except the title one. There's a lot to like. It is, like I say, the disruptive nature, though, is the weird thing. Is it going to stop people from buying, say, a name Atom? It shouldn't. It's a different kind of product, in the same way as a Kia and a BMW are two different types of things. But the reality is, to get from A to B at 100 kilometres an hour, the Kia will do the job and do it reliably. Talk to you later. An Australian loudspeaker legend has been born with the stunning new VAF Research i93 Mark V, winner of StereoNet's Floor Standing Loudspeaker Product of the Year and Sound and Image Magazine's Floor Standing Speaker of the Year, $20,000 to $50,000. VAF's i93 has redefined what I thought was possible from a loudspeaker in a domestic setting, says StereoNet. VAF Research, building award-winning loudspeakers in Australia since 1978.